Karyn, we need your help from right across the country. We've got questions in for you, and I'm going to start with a really good one. This particular parent, they've categorized their son with a learning disability, and she disagrees. We strongly do not agree with that answer. My son is in grade 5, so he'll be 11 years old. He's an A student in math, and he loves it. He's a great boy, enjoys sports and teams. The teachers at his school do not understand how he can do so good in math, but in reading he struggles. So she thinks it's a visual strategy. He's a visual strategy individual. I don't know what that means.
Well, he's probably like a visual learner. So we did, how long ago was it we did the show on learning strategies?
You know what? It feels like yesterday because it keeps coming back again and again. And so many of us are living this life where we're trying to figure it out because our kids are back in school and this is the reality, right? So maybe it was a couple of months ago?
So about 70 to 80% of the population are visual, okay, or kinesthetic learners. That is a huge amount.
And it's
a huge chunk. So as I said last time on the show, unfortunately, a lot of our educators are not taught a lot about learning strategies. It does depend, obviously, on the teacher's college. So, so unless a teacher has really kind of gone out of their way to kind of learn certain strategies, I know with what she's talking, but a lot of teachers will not actually understand. So it's very important as a parent that you are going to educate yourself.
Right.
Okay. So there's a number of different ways you can do it. I was sharing with you before the show that we have a monthly newsletter that's for parents. It's free. The next one that I'm actually doing for, I guess, October, it will be actually specifically on strategies for parents, on how do you actually, now that you know with what kind of learner you are, how can you actually maximize it. So that's a great resource. I can send you the article as well. We can post it up on CityLine.
Let's do that. Let's go to cityline.ca for that and connect people to that, including myself. Like I'll be tuning in to figure that out.
Perfect, because part of it is that there's a bit of a debate around, is it a disability or is it a learning style? So years ago I had a radio show here in Toronto, and I actually had the president of the Learning Disability Association of Ontario on the show.
Okay.
And I said, listen, I was diagnosed with a disability. I was told I was never going to finish high school, but is it a really disability or am I just a highly visual and kinesthetic learner?
Right.
And he said, Karyn, that is the big debate that everyone's kind of talking about. So it's a kind of a bit of a blurry area, and it kind of depends a little bit with who you're talking to.
All right.
Regardless, I don't care if it's a disability or learning style. The bottom line is he's doing well in math. Awesome. So now what he needs to do is then figure out what are the things he needs to do to engage himself with school, specifically with reading. So to me, I don't get caught up in the label. What I care about is the strategies. And so there's a number of things that students can actually do. They need to be actually seeing things. I love chalkboards in kids' rooms. I love acronyms. I love metaphors. There's a lot of different strategies parents can actually do to kind of help their kids learn. And it's very, very important because if kids are not engaged with school and they don't understand it, they're going to disengage and their actually motivation is going to go down. So it's very critical.
Okay, so you have to take that responsibility on as a parent, but then you've got to figure out a way to weave that into their curriculum at school.
You know what?
That's the tough part.
It is the tough part. And so part of it, so I have a lot of parents that are emailing our centers saying, okay, I saw Karyn on CityLine or I got the newsletter or whatever. Can I actually start forwarding it out to the teachers? And so that's what's now happening is that people are sharing the information, which is great. And the key thing is we don't want to blame. This is not about blaming.
Yeah.
And sometimes I hear this undercurrent that people are blaming their teachers. Let's not blame. Let's help each other, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's help each other. And it's a matter of empowering ourselves and actually our kids.
I find a lot of teachers are actually really invested and interested in learning. It's just, you have to balance if it's a class of 25 students. How are they going to do this for your learner, and what does that take away from the other students, right? It's tough.
It's tough, and the other thing is that you don't want to, especially if you've got a kid who's visual or kinesthetic, you don't want to teach your child to play the victim. You want to teach your child to be their own advocate. Okay, so it's very important for parents to learn the information, but then you empower your kids saying, okay, you need to go talk to your teacher. Like, you don't want to be that helicopter parent that's kind of managing it for your kids. So you really want, it's a matter of getting the right information, actually empowering your kids.
Got it. Okay.